Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. This is excellent news. Anita Sarkeesian's feminist frequency nonprofit is broke. Fantastic. Fantastic. You know, people have been calling out this silly bitch for a number of years now. And she knew nothing about games. This was just a way for her to find, to make money. But clearly, she's not able to, even with all that cash that she's been receiving, able to sustain it because she's full of bullshit. Let's move on because I don't want to see her face. It just really annoys me. But this is really, really good news. Now, it says here, you may not recall her, but she's a stupid feminazi critic who made a name for herself with a group of YouTube videos highlighting sexist tropes in video games. That's Gamergate. She was the epicenter of it, unfortunately. She also received a lot of a lot of threats and made news when she cancelled a talk in Utah over the fear that concealed carry permit holders would be allowed to bring their weapons into the venue. Yeah, right. That year, 2014, Sarkeesian's feminist frequency organization became a total and complete bastard annoyance from then on. Became a recognized non-profit, and as a result, she was required to file an annual report on the money she raised and spent. According to these records, Sarkeesian's groups, which had 2 employees plus a producer, had raised and spent 1.6 million over the past years. But it seems that it's coming to an end. Yoo-hoo! A lengthy profile of Sarkeesian's published by Polygon this week reports that earlier this year she laid off 2 employees and stopped taking a salary. The gravy train has truly halted for her. Earlier this year, Sarkeesian decided that feminist frequency needed to change. Ideally, it needed to die. Plain and simple. It's been a nuisance. Real quality women don't need to align themselves with these vile, evil, nasty feminists such as Sarkeesian. She ceased taking a salary, brilliant, and laid off her co-creators and close friends. She closed her offices and stopped making videos. I think she was promised to make, was it 4 or so videos or something? I don't know if it was gaming or about gaming, and they were apparently really, really poor, bad. Feminist frequency is still going, but it's now mainly focused on a regular podcast hosted by these 3 Muppets. It is a purely voluntary organization. So clearly she still wants to carry on doing it, but she's going to do it from, being on YouTube. She knows she'll be welcomed at YouTube. She's welcomed at Twitter. Who is it? And all the other nonsense places. So she's fallen back on the where she has to start again because all the companies have realized they don't need her. They no longer need her to spoil their games, and probably staff got pissed off with her as well. We won't really know full story. She sounds like a really nasty character, to be dealing with. She has no pat answer to. I think it's no pet answer to the question of why she's decided to move on. It's just time. The answers are more complicated. Partly, it's not partly. It's always about money. Always about money. You know, you haven't managed it properly. Fundraising is always a struggle, she says. Paying my staff is always a struggle. Yeah, they were making some good coin out of this. I'm capable of fundraising, but clearly not very well. I learned how to do it through the process of running a non-profit. But I decided, but I didn't get into this work to be a fundraiser. No, what you wanted some sugar daddy to be paying you and funding you and running your business for you so that you could run around the world talking nonsense about feminism and how you can change the game industry into doing what you want it to do. Feminist frequency relied heavily on corporations willing to fund the sort of work that looks into intersectional feminist critiques of commercial arts. And clearly, they're done with it. They're done with it. They're no longer going to put money and waste the money on stupid nonsense. When corporations make financial commitments to non-profits, they like to make song and dance about their noblesse oblige most, especially when it portrays them in a positive light. Of course, that's the whole purpose, isn't it? That's the reason why they're doing it, so that they make more money, or that's what they were hoping. But clearly, with it, whichever companies did bring her on board, she was a very polarizing character. There were people in that industry doing the development who didn't want to work with her because they couldn't stand her. So now she hasn't made a beat. Now she's going to go back to doing podcasts completely, and just little videos and whatever on YouTube, because nobody wants to work with her. But they are also prone to nickel and diming once favorable media coverage fades. Yeah, people have to make decisions. They don't want to consistently waste money on people that are not helping their business. And she wasn't helping their business. Sarkeesian wouldn't talk specifics. Of course she's not going to. She fucked up. But it's clear that corporate generosity crept away once she outlived her usefulness. She didn't have any usefulness. She didn't have any. Earlier this month, Sarkeesian noted that fundraising problems on her Twitter feed while taking a shot at electronics arts. I think that's the company she's been really digging after for quite a long time. So the federal at FemFreak has been a non-profit on the front lines of this issue for years, constantly struggling with funding. See how entitled she is. She believes that these companies should have been giving her money. Hey, here's some money, free money, because you're a feminist and you can critique up it. They're not going to give. It's not a very good way of trying to persuade people on your side, is it? Basically, it's call them bastards in their faces, and then expect them to pour a beer for you. And she's written some shit on Twitter. I don't know. I'm not going to. Oh yeah, it says here. Sorry, what? EA is donating $1 million to non-profits working to end bullying and online harassment. And here she goes. Some facts. This is a nice little. This is really where the money shot is. They didn't speak up during Gamergate at all. Why should they? You fuck. They are a business. They don't have time for nonsense. And the stupid hash at Fem Freak has been a non-profit on the front lines of this issue for years, constantly struggling with funding. So there you go. She's pissed that they haven't come to her to so-called request her services so that they can give her free money. That's how pissed she is. Look at that. Sorry, what? She's so pissed. This entitled feminist bitch feels that she should be given money by a corporation, and how dare they not come to her to ask her services. Unbelievable. Just last week, Sarkeesian was seen. So there you go, hawking herself. Just last week, Sarkeesian was seen offering her services to the creators of a forthcoming game, Cyberpunk 2077, on the grounds that the game might get dragged by the whole of the internet for some potentially sexist representations. Cyberpunk 2017 is expected to be a big release. The game was introduced at E3 this year by Keanu Reeves, who plays a character in the game. Again, so here she goes. This is her hawking herself. I'm always available. Of course you are. She's always available for consulting, because it sure sounds like you might need it before the whole of the internet drags you for what sounds like some potentially sexist representation, which we all know you've struggled with in the past. So there's this bitch here. So I don't know, trying to. It's like mosquitoes are very dangerous. They might be small, but boy, they can bring down an elephant. So she's probably seeing herself as a mosquito trying to go after the elephant in the hope that the elephant will listen to her. But they clearly haven't. That's why she's gone broke, because they don't want or need your services. Because probably half the developers would have got up and left if she'd have come in. Let's continue. Feminist Frequency's annual reports demonstrate that the group was down to its last 30 grand in January. But as the video below points out, the real problem isn't just a lack of corporate donors, it's a lack of public interest. Bankrupt. The financial demise of Feminist Frequency. Beautiful. Beautiful. The group has more than 200 subscribers on YouTube, but the average podcast it released this year only had a few thousand listeners. Not good. That's not much impact for a group that spent several $100,000 in 2018 on salaries and other expenses. See, that probably those 200,000 subscribers are going to be most of her haters who bother to want to see what's going on, watch what's going on, and see it, what she's about. The few thousand that are her feminist friends who want to hear, and listen to her nonsense. But clearly, I mean, that's brilliant news. So listen to some of the responses, because I like the responses. She's not really bad looking, and she's only 36. If she learns to smile and works a better personality, she might find a man. Yeah. Oh, you didn't. Yes, he did. The twit looks 50. Get glasses. A smile and a short skirt would make her appear closer to her real age. But she was, in fact, born in 1983. Okay, fixing her hair and makeup too. I'm sure she hates all men. Pretty sure she hates all men. Of course she does. Here we go. Well, clearly changes would have to be made. Do they have charm school for feminists, or is that a contradiction in terms? This one's good. I like this one. Hell, if she plays her cards right, she could find a man every half hour and maximize profits if she gets to the right streak order. Oh dear. So this is quite a long explanation. Yes, she was ground zero in the extreme left's attempt to shove political correctness down the throats of gamers, and gamers weren't having it. Too right. That's when she started up with the standard leftist canard of receiving death threats that always happens when leftists publicly embarrass themselves with something they say or do, and conservatives call them out on it. They immediately start playing the victim, claim they received death threats, and blame their accusers for their purposeful mistakes. The lime stream media laps it up. She was one of the architects of Gamergate, and the scandal became derailed, becoming all about what she and other bitches suffered through their own actions instead of the violation of journalistic ethics and integrity. Funny how the police are never involved investigating these death threats, and the news never follow up on it. Exactly, because it's all bullshit. Very rarely at all. Oh, someone's got it. The register. Yeah, right. Except when they do. Right. Inconclusive. So he's arguing with this guy here. Evidence has no place here. Inconclusive. Is the ability to shut inconclusive. Is the ability to shout inconclusive all you people have? For those of you who may be watching and don't know what Gamergate is, check out. Can't be asked. So there you have it. So it looks like, she's packed up her bags, and now she's going to slunk back to the internet, to YouTube, making nasty feminist videos in the hope that eventually she can try and drum up a crowd on there to start making money from YouTube. She'll be the only one, to be honest with you. Feminists do very well on YouTube. Everybody else is struggling to make a bean. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm very happy to see it's gone broke. Great news. And I hope this will be a pattern in the future, especially these other groups like Antifa, for instance. They need to be brought down and destroyed over time. But we conservatives will eventually get there, given a bit of time. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. If you like it, please click like. And yeah, thanks for watching.